Ukrainian ambassador to the United States is here tonight, sitting with the First Lady. Let each of us, if you're able to stand and send an unmistakable signal to the world of Ukraine. Thank you.
A moment of unity in a sharply divided Congress during U.S. President Joe Biden's first State of the Union address. Right there in the middle, he called for a standing ovation for the Ukrainian ambassador to the United States. Her name is Oksana Markarova. It was an emotional moment, an embrace there as well from the First Lady Jill Biden. In the address itself, of course, the backdrop, the war in Ukraine, and Biden taking the opportunity to announce new sanctions, new responses to Russia's invasion. But he also had a number of very pressing domestic issues as well. And Magda Gabriselassie is in Washington to tell us a little bit more. The Russian war and Biden's response to Russia, that is sure to be dominating the headlines today, Magda.
Absolutely. And it did dominate the first part of this speech. And it's interesting, Heather, because the speech was initially meant to reassure Americans over the rising costs of living and a lingering pandemic. And obviously, it was quickly rewritten after Russia's invasion of Ukraine. So what we saw was a rare moment of unity in Congress. You had Democrats and Republicans wearing Ukrainian colors, yellow and blue, and Biden dedicating that first part of his speech to the crisis. Now, he said freedom will always triumph over tyranny. He said Russia's President Vladimir Putin miscalculated by attacking Ukraine, essentially underestimating the strength of the Ukrainian people and the response from the world. And the president said that he promised more action would come. Take a listen.
The United States Department of Justice is assembling a dedicated task force to go after the crimes of the Russian oligarchs. We're joining with European allies to find and seize their yachts, their luxury apartments, their private jets. We're coming for your ill-begotten gains. And tonight, I'm announcing that we will join our allies in closing off American airspace to all Russian flights, further isolating Russia and adding additional squeeze on their economy.
Now, he also said those economic sanctions that also target Russian banks and Putin himself are working, that they are necessary, and that there needs to be a price for aggression, he said. Otherwise, there'll be more chaos. Heather?
It was not just the invasion of Ukraine that was the subject of all of the speech, Magda. Domestic concerns, economic concerns, inflation, for example. On those key issues at home, what did Biden say?
Yeah, so a big concern is inflation. And we heard President Biden talk about tackling the supply chain issues as a solution and building up the manufacturing sector here in America to do that, which is something, of course, that Canada is going to be watching closely. Now, here's more from the president.
Instead of relying on foreign supply chains, let's make it in America. Economists call this increasing the productive capacity of our economy. I call it building a better America.
Now, we heard Biden mention electric vehicles, and you'll remember for some time he has been pushing for the electric vehicle tax credit for Americans who buy the vehicles that are made in America. And Ottawa and the Canadian auto industry obviously has been pushing back on that, fearing the loss of jobs. But from what Biden has said here, it seems like he is going to keep pushing a Build in America and Buy American message even beyond the auto industry, which, of course, would shake things up with foreign partners, but it would be one way to try to unite this divided country, Heather.
Magda, thank you so much. Magda Gabriselassie is in Washington for us today.